Hey guys, this is Coach Rylan here. I've got a bit of a product review for you today. This is something that's called the Arm Shaper Pro, and it's from a company called, let's see, Dynaflex Pro. I get sent a lot of products to review and supplements and all sorts of things, workout programs and everything, and because people want me to give them an endorsement. And you know, quite often, as you'll notice, I don't really have a lot of product reviews out there, just because I kind of go by the premise if I don't have anything nice to say about the product, I'd just rather not say anything at all than post a bad review about it. But this is one of the cases where, I don't know, I want to read you what they have on their website. Now this is directly from Dynaflex's website. It says, this Arm Shaper Pro is a breakthrough in sculpting and toning arms. The Arm Shaper produces fast, visible results the very first time you use it. If you thought lifting heavy weights was the only way to get beautifully shaped and toned arms, prepare to be amazed. The secret is the Arm Shaper's gyro mechanism, which is a spinning ball inside this thing. The Arm Shaper replaces traditional weightlifting and does much of the work for you. Just your Arm Shaper spinning to generate results comparable to that of pure resistance lifting while barely breaking a sweat. No more flabby arms to keep you out of t-shirts, sleeveless tops, and swimsuits you love. We guarantee results the very first time you use the Arm Shaper. That angers me because it's a load of bull. You're not going to get any visible results the very first time you use it. And to be quite honest, the first time I used this, I didn't know what the hell it was supposed to do. I certainly couldn't see it being used as any sort of arm shaper or arm toning thing, and it is not by any stretch of the imagination going to replace weights. I mean, this thing itself weighs maybe a pound, so I mean there is some resistance to it, but that's not where the benefit comes. Now, to be honest, the first time I used this, I had no idea what the hell to do with it. Basically, it's a ball that spins within a ball, and the idea is that this thing starts spinning around like crazy in here, and it generates, momentum, and it kind of takes on a life of its own. The only thing I can do is really demonstrate this for you. Now there's a string that you put, there's a ball in here, you put a string in it, you wrap it around, and you give the string a pull, and this thing starts spinning. You can probably hear it. It spins just like that. And the idea is that you want to spin it. There's a certain movement that you do with your hand, and I'm out of practice with this. That's why I really didn't know what to do the first time. If you can kind of get it going, now it's stopped. I'll just use my hand to spin it up here. There's a way you can maneuver this with your wrist that it actually starts going faster and faster and faster. You can get this thing going pretty quickly, and it is kind of fun. I'll give it that. Yeah, this isn't working. So I put the string into the little hole. I wrap it around the ball that's inside here, and it's like starting a lawnmower. You give it a pull, and you gotta get this thing moving. And it's like a back and forth motion with your wrist if you can kind of find the right center of balance. I really can't explain it to you any other way. You'd have to try it to really understand what I'm talking about. And I've obviously not practiced this for a while. Alright, take 3. Let's try this once more. It's more of a workout actually getting this thing going than any of the exercises you'd actually do with it. Now while I'm putzing around with this thing, I should mention that although I don't think this is an arm toning piece of equipment at all, it does have some benefits, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And that's primarily why I wanted to do this review, because there are some really good benefits. Okay, here we go. You can hear this thing. Now I'm twisting my wrist at the same time. Now if I just hold it steady, you see that? That's all momentum. If I let go, so there's a way to get it going, and actually to maintain this works your forearms tremendously well. And like I said, that is the primary benefit here. As far as upper arms, not going to happen. There's no way that this thing can work your upper arms with any degree of effectiveness at all. I mean, you see on their website people doing arm exercises like arm curls and shoulder presses, and it's the same as if you picked up a 1-pound dumbbell and were doing arm presses and arm curls and stuff like that. So I mean, it has absolutely no benefit to your upper arms whatsoever. I mean, anatomically it just doesn't work that way. this will work your forearms tremendously well, and your bicep gets a little bit of work from stabilizing your forearm, but really, I mean, a push-up is going to work your upper arms 100 times better than this thing will. So as far as this being being able to replace weights, and what do they say? Getting results from the very first time you use it replaces traditional weightlifting and does much of the work for you? No. You're not going to get anywhere if you let something else do the work for you. But here's where the benefit is. Okay, so I'm going to let this thing spin down. I'm going to stop it. Okay, so what this thing would be good for is for any one of you out there who, if you have carpal tunnel, or if you're a golfer, or a hockey player, or anybody who has any sort of sport that revolves around a lot of, you know, wrist strengthening movements. So tennis would be another good one. You know, any sport that you have to manipulate an object with your wrist and you need good wrist strength, this would be fantastic for that. And like I said, for anyone who has carpal tunnel, because carpal tunnel puts a lot of stress right into the wrist here. If you have very strong forearm muscles and strong wrist muscles, you can actually alleviate a lot of the pressure from carpal tunnel. So for people like that, this is great. But as far as an arm toning piece of equipment, absolutely fails on every level. I mean, it's really gimmicky. They're marketing it as something that you would use this instead of doing weights, and it's not going to happen. And as far as getting results the first time you use it, what they might be talking about is when you do exercises like this and you work your forearm a lot, your forearm will actually swell to a certain extent. So all the blood will rush into your forearm, and you'll see maybe a little bit more improved definition just because of the swelling in your forearm, but I mean that goes away within 20 minutes. So there you have it. That's the Arm Shaper Pro, or Arm Shaper from Dynaflex. And like I said, if you're a golfer, if you're a hockey player, if you're a tennis player, if you have any sort of wrist injury or carpal tunnel or anything like that, might be worth picking up. I mean, it's kind of fun. I get that. I mean, it's a little fun to play with, but as far as being a good exercise for any arm toning, upper arm toning, absolutely fails on every level, and I definitely don't recommend it for that. But it does have some redeeming qualities if you can kind of filter out all the BS. So there you go. There's a review. Probably not a favorable one for the company that sent this to me, but like I said, there are some people out there that could really get some benefit from this. So that's it for now. I will talk to you later.